Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of LunchBoxPod. They said we wouldn't do it, but here we are. We've done it again. So I just want a round of applause for us being back. Richard, you, stand up. Sally, stand up. We're going to put music over this while I'm doing it. Scott, stand the fuck up. Start saying some random names of people who might be listening.
Paul, looking at you, bud. Come on, get up.
Get up, Paul.
Get your ass up. Oh, come on. Alt-right. Yeah, right.
This is what episode is this? 3rd?
Nah, this is 5.
This is when the show just starts to get good. So here we fucking are, dude. How's your week been? How's it been since last time we were on here?
I mean, it's been more than a week since last time we were on here. It's been...
My perception of time is weird, bro.
Oh, man. Let's see. I've been busy, two busiest guys on the internet. Recently had to go to urgent care, which was not very fun because Mia felt like there was a perpetual lump in her throat. Turns out she had something called esophagitis.
That sounds like some shit that's made up.
I know. Esophagitis.
You got a little bit of that esophagitis. Drink some tea, you'll be all right.
Yeah, so essentially what happened is Mia ate a diet that was basically sucker punching her esophagus over and over again with fists covered in acid reflux. And eventually her esophagus said, you know what? Fuck it. And is swollen. So she has to eat. Well, the list is actually kind of hilarious because my favorite foods are spicy foods, pizza. I love cheese and milk. And that's pretty much all I eat. And, red meat.
Ass.
And ass. Oh. Straight ass. And the list of things that you're not allowed to eat while you have esophagitis is pretty much exactly that. You can't have red sauce, so that eliminates pizza, most spaghettis. Fettuccine Alfredo, you thought it was safe? Not a red sauce. Psych, it's dairy. So go fuck yourself. Damn. You can't have dairy either.
You're just not eating. No more Olive Garden. You're barred from there.
When you're here, you're not family anymore. Go on, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Well, damn, I'm sorry to hear about that. That means that she's had to develop some fucking new eating habits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been 2 days. It's been rough. We had pizza last night.
Oh my god, dude, you didn't even make it very long. Has she had this? Is it only just now become a problem, or has she been dealing with it since she was a kid?
She's always had acid reflux, even back in high school. She's always dealt with that. Esophagitis, though, that's brand new.
Damn.
I do not envy her for feeling like she constantly has something in her throat. She said earlier today that she had been trying to drink a lot of water, but drinking water was akin to swallowing marbles. And she was like, I just couldn't get the visualization out of my head, and I just haven't drank that much water today.
Dude, food stuff, when I was younger, I remember people's weird eating habits. I remember that we were in the cafeteria when people would, okay. So I have a little bit of OCD. Well, you know this. We've talked about it. I used to have a big germ. I was Howie Mandel. I know we all joke about Howie Mandel now, but that was me as a kid. Bald and everything. And, dude, when little kids would do this all the time, they would burp. Oh, and I know that's seems so normal. And you just heard me rip a crazy burp today. But
it's legendary.
As a kid, that would gross me. Literally, it would trigger a gag reflex in me. As a child, or it was so embarrassing, but I hated when people burped. So at school, people used to burp in order to fuck with me. But I had one homie who always, every time someone burped, he'd be like, "Don't fucking do that next to Trey." He was my fucking bodyguard, dude.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know why that. I guess asking about her being young triggered that memory in me. But weird shit from school,
Yeah.
Things that happened back in the day.
I was a weird ass little kid too. When I was little,
burping everywhere.
I do burp everywhere, and I'm sorry. Those of you that have watched my streams before, back when I was scodysk the streamer, I used to burp into the fucking microphone, and I had aim for it too. So I don't know why you ever watched my streams. You probably like this fucking time. Burp one more fucking time.
I'm just in your chat never turned it. I grew out of it eventually.
But yeah, my earliest memories of food, there was really only 2 things that I would eat consistently. And that was red soup, which is what I called tomato soup. My mom used to make it with a little bit of whole milk in there, stir it up, delicious.
Pretty good.
Very good. The second thing was exclusively Dino Egg oatmeal. I understand as an adult now that there's no difference in the flavor between Dino Egg oatmeal and the original brown sugar oatmeal.
I've
But to
never
me,
seen that.
you've never seen the Dino Egg oatmeal?
We weren't an oatmeal family, dude.
Oh, man. I wasn't an oatmeal family either. I was just an oatmeal kid. Nobody else in my family liked oatmeal. Not sure where it came from, but it was like one of the few things that I would eat. And I've told you this in confidence before, so I may as well share it with the internet. The doctor, when I was quite small, like in first through fifth grade, took my mom into a separate room to tell her the news that I was below the 20th percentile in height and weight. So, you put 5 kids in a room, the shortest one, that was me.
What's up, Doc? heard you were talking to my mom.
What are you saying up there? I can't hear.
This fucking kid again.
They hear bing bong as like the door opens and they look over, it's just an empty doorway.
So anyways, they said, man, this guy's tiny.
Yeah. The doctor had to take my mom into a separate room for that. And her response was, oh, he knows.
You have to. You don't gotta whisper it. He understands.
Yep. So when I would eat something, my parents would be like, well, this is what he's eating, because I was a very picky eater. And so Dino Egg oatmeal got discontinued when I was quite young. And I remember my grandparents found a U-Crops out in the middle of like bumfuck nowhere. U-Crops, if you don't know, is a grocery chain. I don't even know if they're still around anymore.
I had no idea what that was. I thought you were going to say to break the news to you that it was discontinued. Like, they like sat you down on the couch like Scody. I hate to tell you this, buddy, but brace yourself. You're going to want to take a seat for this.
Yeah. I genuinely haven't eaten oatmeal. Like, I've had, you're walking through Costco and somebody is like, oatmeal? Yeah. But it's not Dino Egg oatmeal. All right. There's something different. All right. The eggs that dissolve. Let me explain to you the magic that was Dino Egg oatmeal, since we're on the topic. And I'm like,
okay.
I wasn't going to bring this up at all when we got here today, but Dino Egg oatmeal was made by Quakers, and it had these little tiny, they're kind of the consistency of sugar cubes, but they're in the shape of dinosaur eggs. And so you would put it into your hot oatmeal, you'd be stirring that shit around, and something magical would happen. The eggs would start to dissolve and break down as the dinosaur inside was incubated and then hatched ultimately.
And born into your oatmeal.
Born into my oatmeal. And multicolored, like, sugar cookie consistency, little tiny pieces of dinosaur. It was delicious.
Hell yeah. Sounds like it.
Yep. Sometimes I'd be, like, extra bad, and I'd get one of the eggs that hadn't hatched yet, and I'd just eat that whole fucker. Just like that.
You know what? It is Friday. Just as a little kid, like, I'm about to get so weird right now. Let it dissolve on your tongue and shit. Like,
Just like.
I was gonna ask if you packed lunch when you were a kid then, since you were like super like picky, if you were a lunch packer.
Yeah. So for you, burps made you gag at school. My very first day at kindergarten, I decided to buy lunch like the rest of the kids. And the smell of the green beans made me actually gag. I don't know if it's because it was a vegetable or just something like outside of like...
This isn't shaped like a dinosaur egg.
But I almost threw up on the school cafeteria. And so from that point on, throughout into high school, I never bought lunch. I refused to buy anything from the school cafeteria, and I would survive off of not even pizza. The only exception I made is when I was in high school, a new Chick-fil-A opened up down the street, and they would ship just like an obscene cart, like literally imagine a cart of laundry, and like the laundry hasn't been like taken out in fucking weeks, and it's all piled up and pieces are falling off.
Chicken sandwiches.
It's just chicken sandwiches, and those things would sell out every fucking day.
And dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. So that's when I actually started buying things from the school cafeteria, is when, capitalism happened. Thank you.
I hate like how alike we are because I said that thing like even pizza, but I packed my lunch every day up until my last year of school. And here's why. Because the last year of school, I ate their lunch and I packed a lunch. I just had two lunches. I was just eating like a crazy meal every day. But I remember like my mom, I'd be like, "Hey, you want to sling me a couple dollars for lunch?" But she's like, "You pack your lunch every day." You know what I mean? And I was like, "Yeah, but you." And then she found out I was eating two lunches every day, and it all started with that damn pizza. And then I was like, I'm a two lunch kind of guy. I'm a grown boy. But up until then, I packed my lunch every day, and it would always be the same thing. Like, in elementary school, it was a bologna sandwich every day. Middle school, peanut butter and jelly. High school, like a ham sandwich situation. But in elementary school, having a bologna sandwich was a life changer for me because I was super into Yu-Gi-Oh! And I know that sounds crazy that bologna means I was super into
That
Yu-Gi-Oh!
fucking took a left turn.
and there was a kid in my class who had always the best Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like all the God card. It was like you went Exodia, every motherfucking arm and leg you could dream of, he had them, right?
Damn.
But you know what he loved more than Yu-Gi-Oh? Bologna sandwich. So in elementary school, I would take my lunch. I would not eat my lunch. That's why I ate two lunches my senior year to make up for my time as a child. I would trade him the bologna sandwich, and I would have a new Yu-Gi-Oh card every day. My parents had to have wondered why my Yu-Gi-Oh collection got so insane. And it was because I was trading a bologna sandwich for a Yu-Gi-Oh card every day. And at the end of the day, it was like the last part of the day that me and this kid would see each other. His name was Hunter. Shout out, Hunter. And he would go, "Hey," he was like a bigger kid. He was like, "Hey, you got that sandwich?" And he'd like nudge me, and I'd be like, "Right here." This is primo Oscar Mayer slapped against my hand. This is the Oscar Mayer kind of bologna, brother.
Yeah, he like cracks it. It's like,
oh, American cheese. Like, yeah. Put the good shit on there just for you, buddy. What he got for me? I need Exodia's left arm. I don't know. It reminded me of that Yu-Gi-Oh card situation when we were talking about packing our lunch. Hunter, he got me through all that. I still have those cards somewhere, and I hope that they're worth money. I don't know if Yu-Gi-Oh cards are worth shit anymore, but I have hella Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah, that'd make you like the business
time.
kid of the century if you traded bologna sandwiches for like cards that have increased in value since then.
I definitely made they have to at least be more than the packs of bologna that my mom was buying. Although
certainly.
They probably weren't Oscar Mayer that she was buying. To be fair, it's probably like the cheapest shit you could get. But I was flipping them hoes.
Yeah. Well, I also I guess you didn't really embezzle any money because you were using the money for food. I would request money from my parents for lunch at high school. But this was pre-Chick-fil-A sandwich, okay? What I was really doing is I was pocketing the cash, and I would save it up until I had a friend who was a senior, and I would meet up with him. We'd be in the back alley, and I was like, "You got the stuff?" Because I didn't have a credit card. And he was like, "Yeah, I got it." And he'd slip me a card. It's a fucking Steam gift card to go buy video games.
Oh, hell
and
yeah.
I would save up my lunch money to buy Steam gift cards from the senior who had a job, so that he had actual finances and could buy like a $30 Steam gift card.
I thought you were going to say he was giving you homemade bologna sandwiches.
He was like,
"You got
this
the
is
stuff?"
the primo.
Like, "I know you don't like to eat the school lunch, buddy. Here."
Yeah. It's the bootleg dino egg oatmeal.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Years later, you're like cracking over. You're like, "This one's a vintage." You like break the seal on the oatmeal. Like you put an egg in your mouth and you roll it around a little bit and spit it back into the bowl like a wine tasting.
Yeah. Oh man.
Dude, one thing I hated about lunch, like the shit with lunch, is that I had this fucking. So for those of you who don't know, my name's Trey. If this is your first time watching, I don't think we introduced ourselves, but I'm Trey. And people would always make this joke when I was a kid, and they would go, "Oh, lunch tray," and they'd put their food on me. And I hated that shit. And I'm literally not joking. How dumb of a joke is that? That like if my hand was resting on the cafeteria table, next thing you know, a fucking green bean, the same one that made you gag, would be on my hand. And people would be like, "Oh, don't worry, just putting that on my tray." And I'd be like, "You son of a bitch." I hit him with the.
Man.
I was also really small. I was like, you fucking get your damn lunch off of me.
Oh man.
But I hated that. They called me Lunch Tray, dude. That was like one of the nicknames of like my kindergarten year.
Oh man. I've had some good nicknames in the past. Although the one that I really had mostly through childhood anyways was just Dill Pickle, which my name's not
Dill
actually
Pickle.
Scody. Surprise, my name is actually Dylan. And so Dylan goes quickly to Dill and then thus Dill Pickle. Also, you know, you watch the Rugrats?
Dilly man. I know Dill Pickle. That's immediately what I thought about when you said Dill Pickle.
I got Dilly all the time. I still get that one to this day.
Hey, Dilly. That one's not bad. They called me Trey for a while. Like neighborhood people be like, "What's up, Trey?" I guess Trey wasn't long enough, so they did that.
Right.
I said Dilly.
Yeah.
Dilly and Trey.
That's the thumbnail. There it is.
The name's so nice, you gotta say it twice. Yeah, Trey. And then when I was in high school, they called me Treyton because that's what people thought my name actually was. They were like, "Oh, this kid's name is not just 4 letters; it has to be longer." So someone called me Treyton once, and then everyone called me Treyton. Even teachers sometimes thought my name was Treyton, and it wasn't.
Dang.
That's just what my homies called me.
Yeah. Until your mom hits you with like your full name for like the first time in your life. She's like, Treyton. And you're like,
she's never called me that ever. I'm an adult and she calls me Treyton. Like yeah, first, middle, and last. Like,
yeah.
Wait, what?
And then you go look at your birth certificate like your father did to his, and it says Treyton. And you're like, who am I?
Wait, did we talk about that? Did we talk about my dad's birth certificate thing on here? My dad thought his name was like blank junior his whole life, and he realized when he looked at his birth certificate that he was not a junior. So he had like a moment, you know, like with the screen's black and gray, the rain is falling, and he's looking at his certificate like, who am I? Who am I?
Oh man,
that was me when I realized my name was actually Treyton. Other than that, that was pretty much the only nicknames I ever had.
I tried to like force not like a nickname, but username. What was it even back in the day? I guess it was like a handle or a username.
Gamer tag, dude.
Yeah, dude, it was my gamer tag and was up until recently. I recently changed it over to scodysk. But it was the Bipolar Bear, which you might have seen around.
I don't know if I've ever seen. I might have seen you around, dude. What were you, like a pro gamer?
I was.
Wait, you're the Bipolar Bear?
Right.
All jokes aside, that actually does sound familiar now.
It like the only reason I think that you may have seen it is I literally used it for like everything, like my email, my like Facebook name, just everything. Until one day somebody gave me the realization that the Bipolar Bear could be translated also as the Bipolar Bear, which I don't know how familiar you are with like the LGBTQ community.
That's hilarious.
But bears aren't the furry 4-legged animals. Well, I mean,
I didn't even think about that. Dude, the Bipolar Bear. You just get hella DMs.
Yeah. So yeah, for legal reasons, I had to change it.
That is so funny. But you know, I think you literally just triggered it in my brain. Now I like feel like I remember playing with someone named the Bipolar Bear at one point, being like, "That's a cool username," because you were like, "You've seen me around," and I didn't think I had. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, did you play Modern Warfare 2?
Dude, I played the fuck out of Modern Warfare 2. I had like
we might have been friends on there. Dude, that would be nuts if we were
that
actually
would be
friends on.
The gnarliest like backstory ever. Did you ever?
We were, before we met on Twitch, we were fucking just like buddies on Modern Warfare 2.
Right, man. I used to play Modern Warfare 2 so much that used to get me in trouble because I didn't have a mic, so I would just be a passive listener when it came to like the game chat, and I would hear some
just
things
through your TV.
Yeah, no, I had headphones luckily, but they would. Every now and then a stray round would get lodged in there and it would come out in front of like my parents or my cousins or something. You know, when you say that thing when you're a kid and then both of your parents don't react and like they might just exchange a quick glance with each other, like who's going to handle this one? And you're like, oh man, I shouldn't have said that one.
Do you remember the One Beast One? Damn
One
it! I wanted
Piece.
you to be like, yes, that was my gamer tag when I was a kid. It was the One
Oh,
Beast one. I was hoping we were having a moment where like we reunited.
yeah,
When you log off of a video game for like you're like, all right, man, I'll see you tomorrow, and then
yeah,
you never play that game ever again, and that
yeah,
friend just disappears into the fucking ether.
yeah.
And if you would have known who the One Beast one is, that would have been I would have been like Bipolar Bear. You're like the Beast, and then we like embrace and shit. It's like
Yeah.
slow mo into it.
Through the cameras.
It was
Uh,
worth a try.
yeah. No, I did actually have like a little clan that I ran. I didn't run it actually. I was just a part of it. Who knows? I could have ran it. I could say whatever I want. I'm the one with the microphone now.
The actual clan leader's pissed as fuck watching this.
Yeah.
Dude.
He's writing an
Ew.
angry comment right now.
I was the backbone of that clan.
You just dual wielded P90s on Rust.
Did you guys ever enter any competitions or anything as the clan? Like, were you like a serious clan?
Yeah, so I would get invited to teams all the time because I was an only child, which meant I had plenty of time to play video games. So that's pretty decent, especially in the Modern Warfare 2 era. And so I'd get like the mysterious message that was like, so and so has invited you to a party. You would join it, and they would just send you a game invite, and then you would like log into it, and they'd be like, all right, this is tryouts for Gamma Gamma X3 Echelon. And you're like,
Actually, I'm already part of a clan. I'm actually the leader of a clan already.
yeah.
Dude, we had I was a part of a clan as well. I actually started a clan with a friend, and we were known as the I Love You clan. And it was
Wait,
ILY.
no shit.
We were the
You're
I
fucking-
Love You clan. You're doing a bit.
I'm so fucking serious. The ILY was the clan
ILY
tag?
clan, dude.
That was
our clan tag.
that was the fucking clan tag that we used in Halo
Oh my
Reach
god,
and
no
Modern Warfare.
shot.
Yeah.
Dude, that is so weird. We were the I Love You clan, and then there was a Call of Duty, and I can't remember, that did clan wars, and we entered in as the I Love You clan, and we for a week were #1 in clan wars. Our clan was. That was so memorable to the point to where I had a friend who was the best man at my wedding let me tattoo that on his ass cheek. Bracket ILY bracket. I
What?
hand poked that tattoo on his ass cheek. We were the I Love You clan, dude.
Bro.
All right, hey,
I need to
I
find
was the leader of that clan.
the angry commenter has been you this whole time.
Dude, that's so nuts.
All right, no, because I mean, there's got to be like more than just one I Love You clan. There's no way that we are part of the same one.
You're sub clan, dude. Don't even put yourself on my level.
Don't talk to me or my clan.
Y'all
ever
were
again.
a branch campus. You weren't the real main campus here. Did you make content when you like did stuff like that? Did you guys like film videos back then, or like be like, I'm gonna be a like FaZe clan?
Yeah. No, I luckily, well, I don't even know if I could say luckily. I did not do, the classic gamer check out my 360 no scope reels or any of the MLG gamer stuff, sadly. Instead, I decided to make let's play videos, game reviews, and I was also in a music video that I have a possession that was gifted to me for being the best man at my best friend's funeral. Fuck me, my words are not working. Hold on,
Dude, are you wait?
reset.
I mean, you're getting choked up because your best friend died. It's okay. Just take a second.
And I also even did a music video that has been under lockdown because I'm scared to delete it because I feel like I need to keep eyes on how cringy this music video is. And it was so bad and so memorable for me that I was the best man at my best friend's wedding, and he gifted me a little engraved thing that's over there. Yeah, he's
yeah.
alive. Yeah.
Okay, hell yeah.
Yeah. That's all good. It was just a scare. He just didn't answer his phone for 2 minutes.
You still have the music video?
Oh yeah, but I'm not showing it anywhere. You know what? Hey, if this video gets 1,000 likes, yeah, just ever, I guess. Who's gonna watch this? Come on.
Dude, one day we rally the whole I Love You clan behind us, and they all like it. all of the sub branches of it. We unite once more.
You reunited the tribes of the I Love You clan.
Do that. That's hilarious. So 1,000 likes, we watch it, dude. I had a mixtape when I was in high school that will never see the light of day. And I made little covers for it. I handed it out. This was like my freshman year of high school.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Hell yeah. You'll never find anything on the internet, but at the time I went by Trey the Human. That was my name because I thought it was cool because I loved Adventure Time. And also
I mean,
Tyler
the name
the Creator
slaps.
existed, so I was like Trey the Human. I was like, this is a good ass name. And
Yeah.
I made music under that. But I never released it or anything.
All right, well, you gotta slap a number on that one. Because
dude,
I've known about this
literally
mixtape for a while, and it is
maybe
never
a snippet of it, but I could not play a whole song because it would just be it would not be good. It would not be good for anyone involved if an entire song was played. But maybe a snippet. 1,000 likes, I released that as well.
All right, hell yeah, we're doing the thing. Oh man.
Okay. God damn it, dude. Sometimes we take the bits too far, you know.
Yeah. I feel like we consistently take the bits too far. The amount of editing that I have to do at the trail end of like we find something that we think is funny and we just keep nailing that thing for like all it's worth, man. So, yeah.
I made YouTube videos as well, and aside from making music, never a music video. I only had 2 YouTube videos though that existed on the internet, and one actually there's 3. One of them was just my dog jumping up and down a bunch of times, and I thought it was funny. I've since deleted all these videos so no one can find them. A different account. But the second one was me and my friend used to make these. Well, we made 2 of these ghost hunting videos where we turned all the lights off in my basement, and my friend was like pretending to be a ghost hunter, and he's like, "Oh, I think that we have a haunting here," and I was just screeching in the corner with like a blanket over me, and I was like, and then the next video, like the sequel to this masterpiece, was him getting possessed by me. So that was basically it. Other than that, there was no YouTube career for me, no music video career.
My YouTube career went way longer than it should have. I made everything from Let's Plays. I did reviews. I did skits. One of them, pretty proud of, called 30 Minutes or Less. It was like a suspenseful movie trailer, but the hook was that they were ordering a pizza and 30 minutes or less.
How to get there in 30 minutes or less. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, since then I've like continued to do a lot of like editing and everything, but I couldn't escape the Bipolar Bear for forever. And I chose that name partly because I wanted it to have like I wanted it to be a pun almost. I don't know, what would you even call that kind of wordplay?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's a pun, right? Dude, I really think I knew the Bipolar Bear. That's what's crazy. I knew the bipolar that sounds so familiar.
Yeah.
You've been planting a memory in my head.
Yeah, or it's Inception. It's just me in there spinning a fucking top. That's all I got from Inception is that they spin tops and then they plant ideas. The Bipolar Bear, because the bears were my favorite animal too. So I was like,
a polar bear specifically.
I've since moved away from polar bears and I moved on to the Great Bear Forest of Northwest North America, where I will venture one day and find my spirit bear.
Wow. Did you watch that movie Brother Bear when you were a child?
Hell yeah, I did. Are you kidding me?
That shit was sick. That shit was dope.
Yeah, right? Man, and the fucking soundtrack with Phil Collins, man, fantastic movie.
Had that shit on VHS, dude.
Hell yeah. I probably still have that shit downstairs in the garage. I have all of my old VHSs. I had the Black Diamond, Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I mean, not all 5 pieces of Exodia, but it's something. That's actually a way more powerful car. No, you got me beat there, dude.
Oh, man.
Bologna sandwich Exodia is not as cool as a VHS collection.
But yeah, Brother Bear rocked. I also, of course, loved Blue from Jungle Book. I was into the Jungle Book because apparently the Cub Scouts have just used the Jungle Book as their ethos. So you join the Cub Scouts, they make you read the Jungle Book.
Hell yeah. You were a Cub Scout?
Oh, yeah, I was. I was like the best little Cub Scout, okay? Not only was I a hard worker, I had the entrepreneurial spirit. and I was
Oh
always
shit.
selling the shit out of popcorn, man.
You were slanging popcorn, dude.
Yep,
Not candy bars.
not candy bars. Were you a Cub Scout?
No, I did not get touched as a child. If that's what you're asking. I'm sorry. Too far, too far. No, I was not a Cub Scout. I was just a regular boy. I just played outside in the grass by myself.
Yeah. No, I was a Cub Scout for it's like I was touched as a child.
Yeah, you got me.
Oh man. Well, did you at least have a favorite animal?
Dude, fuck yeah, I did. So this is how I figured out I had multiple favorite animals. That sounded like I was having a hard time spitting that out. We're having a common theme here. When I was a kid, like really small, I loved rhinoceros. I thought that they were just so badass. I had like dragons, obviously not a real animal. Love dragons, of course, but real animal was a rhinoceros. And the reason I said dragons first was because I had a collection of knives, which a kid should not have. And each of them were themed towards dragons or rhinoceros, because my dad would just buy me knives because he'd be like, well, he'd see something with a rhinoceros on it and be like, Trey would like this. So I had this like crazy rhinoceros knife, and I just collected them. So I'd say rhinoceros was my favorite because I had a bunch. And you'd wonder, how many knives have rhinoceros on them? More than you can think of. I had a lot of them. And then as I got older, I actually went on a trip to West Virginia.
Yeah.
The reason I went there is so my dad could go gamble. There's a casino. Nice. He wanted to go there. But we went to a zoo. I believe it was called the Ogle Bay Zoo. And I'm not from West Virginia, so this was a new zoo to me. I've been going to an Ohio zoo this whole time. And even the Ohio Zoo, not the one where Harambe got, but the other Ohio Zoo. There's two of them, not the one in Cincinnati. And anyways, I was at the other zoo, and I saw an African wild dog for the first time. And those of you who don't know what that is, do you know what that is? You're nodding your head like you know what that is.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
It's a badass animal. I just thought it was the most interesting looking thing, dude. And I actually then started to collect little figurines of African wild dogs, and I think I actually still have one somewhere, and maybe in my little barn outside. Yeah, I have one of those. I think I saw it when I was moving in here. But African wild dogs, they were like crazy pack hunters. They looked wild, and I still think to this day, people get like these traditional like wolves tattooed on them, and like people call them like power animals. It'll be like a gorilla or some shit like that's common in traditional tattooing. I'm gonna get a African wild dog one done, dude. And I think it's gonna be badass. Might even have lightning flying from his eyes. Who fucking knows? Something cool as shit. So, yeah, man. African
you better
wild
fucking
dog,
do it.
Easy.
Yeah.
Gonna get it right here.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, they're like the painted dogs, right? That's another name for them.
Yes, dude. Little like they're like black with like brown and like a calico cat, but a dog.
Yep. Any like wild dogs, they just look so peculiar. Like their backs don't go like the same way as like domestic dogs do, I guess. Like they're more like
hunched
angular.
over.
Yeah. They look more like
me
aggressive.
in my gaming chair, dude. I'm gonna have to get another beer.
You want to see how many seltzers I've drank?
Holy shit! You just been chugging You're thirsty as hell, dude. Oh, there's more. Dude, you drank the whole 12-pack.
And my mouth's still dry as fuck.
Hell yeah. I hate a dry mouth. I fucking hate hiccups, bro. The hiccups are annoying as shit. Whenever I get the hiccups as an adult, I'm like, what are you, a little baby? Why am I have hiccups? Little babies get hiccups. I had the hiccups the other day. I was ready to fucking lose it. It was driving me nuts, dude. It was one of my like hiccups drive me crazy. It's an annoying sound, especially people with loud hiccups. One thing that drives me absolutely fucking nuts is, do you know when there's one reason why I don't like to go to a movie theater. When people are eating popcorn at the movie theater and they're crunching that goddamn bag and they're munching all loud and shit. Literally, I hate doing this, but sometimes if people are eating chips too loud, like even if we're in someone's house, I'll have to be like, hey, let's ease up on the chips a little bit, because it fucking stresses me out. That noise, I know there's a name for it. It puts me in a feral state. Like I become caveman. Trey, no longer modern man. I it makes me want to just grab somebody and just for munching on chips so loud. Doritos
Damn.
are like a culprit. They're like one of the
Mm.
worst. People crunch on some goddamn Doritos.
No, I
Random
totally get
shit.
it. However, if I ever have hiccups around you, I'm gonna have to fucking get out because my hiccups
Better
are
hold
like
those in.
they're fucking horrible. I hate when I get hiccups. It sounds like this terrible like sound.
Oh
It's
yeah. Yeah,
loud.
I would strangle you.
It fucking I wish that you would because it's like literally like I have tried everything. Mia has like tried to scare me. She's like slapped me. She's made me drink water in various positions.
Dude, the one where you like lean really
Yeah.
far forward and tilt your head up. Is that
Yeah.
the one?
It's the one that you have to like drink underneath your legs or something.
At
Just
a
like
handstand, she's just holding your feet while you're chugging water.
I'm just butt chugging at this point.
It works. They say that if you eat something like that's like has a really like sharp flavor, this is what I do. I get the hiccups. I will literally go and grab a jar of pickles and just hit a shot of pickle juice, and I swear it will snap my brain right. And I know it sounds crazy, but
I will try it next time. I'll if I remember, I'll video it because my hiccups are I've never gotten like a fix for them. I wish. That'd be nice.
pickle juice, dude. I also heard a spoonful of peanut butter, and I used to do that, but it didn't always work because then you'd be so focused on like
Yeah.
like the peanut butter action.
Yeah.
The good thing I don't have a green screen. Someone could green screen something crazy with that notion that I just
The
did.
peanut butter action.
I'm just like, just put a
man.
binky right there. What were we talking about?
You were talking about peanut butter, but I didn't know if that was going to go anywhere.
Oh, hiccups. We
yeah,
were talking
yeah.
about our pet peeves and such.
I also can't stand the crinkly wrappers. Crinkly wrappers. Oh man, and this one happens frequently. All right, you go out to a nice dinner, but you order way too much food. You get some to-go boxes. You throw those puppies in the back seat. You get in the car. The road's a little bit bumpy, and all you hear behind you is eat of the fucking styrofoam rubbing together. Hell no.
Dude, that's a bad
I
one.
will stop the car. I will pull over on the side of the road and correct that.
You correct that behavior. You're like, quiet
No,
down, or I'm
I will
pulling
turn
over."
this car over.
I will turn this car around.
Yeah. No, I have. I wish that
The
I
leftover
didn't.
chicken fingers are like, oh shit, he's serious.
They were in there like.
Oh god damn, dude.
Another pet peeve of mine is how fucking particular I am about certain things. Like I saw a TikTok that I felt very targeted about. I scrolled down and it was like the one guy that just can't handle everything, and it was just minor inconveniences of like.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like
I think I
just
saw that,
sensory
too.
things, like dry, like my hands being too dry. That will just like nobody understands unless like they understand. But when I was a little kid, I used to go downstairs because my hands and feet were dry, and the only thing that would make them feel better is by putting as many surfaces as possible onto the side of the fridge, because the fridge was smooth, it was cold, and it didn't feel dry. And so I'd be up there with my two hands and my foot too up on the fridge, and my dad would just be staring at me going,
Linda, he's doing it again. But you're like this tall because you're
like the Smithsonian.
Stuart Little, bro. He's rubbing the fridge again. What do we do? Too dry. Too dry. Too dry.
Dude. Yeah.
You know what? Too dry is better than too wet, though.
That's true. Although, like, my problem is things get too dry. So I don't think my life would be much better if things were too wet. That would just make a lot of things inconvenient.
Could have just put lotion on, bro. Just lotioned up a little bit.
All of this pain that I went through as a child. And I
You're
was
just
not a
still
great
doing it.
communicator. Yeah. I
No moisturizer for your face or anything in the mornings. Your wife just sees you just like how a cat rubs against shit. You're just on the fridge like.
Yeah, and now I look like this. Thanks for asking about my skincare routine. But yeah, I used to do a lot of weird things, and my mom would facilitate them. But I feel like Dad did the appropriate thing, which was to just kind of ignore, let it happen, not like intervene. But I mean,
And then you got to
imagine.
get your get back for Dad one day. You gotta get his ass back for ignoring your lotion needs, dude.
Yeah. He gave me a microfiber blanket. He knows that sets off my fucking sensitivity. Now my dad is very similar to me. He totally understands actually. Like two pieces of paper rubbing together, that's a big no
Oh,
no.
that's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. And I always
No, I
wonder.
think. Oh, continue, go on.
No, mine's not important.
No, mine. All right, cut this. Mine was gonna be a segue. I didn't know if we were done, so I was gonna segue.
I was
If
going
you
to
still have
say, do you
more,
think it's nails or fingernails on a chalkboard when they say nails on a chalkboard?
is it nails or fingernails on a chalkboard?
Yeah.
I've always heard nails on a chalkboard.
Well, yeah, but do they mean like construction nails or fingernails?
Probably fingernails. Probably fingernails.
I've always imagined like a nail that you would hammer into the wall, but
Just why is your teacher just pulling out nails from their? It's not shop class, bro.
I was a Cub Scout.
Shit, I was just gonna say that you probably deserve to like get your dad back for ignoring your lotion needs. You could have done to your dad what I did to my dad when I was a kid. Have you ever seen the movie New Guy by chance?
Don't think that
Are
I
you
have.
familiar? New Guy was this movie. I'll tell you who the main actor was here. We're gonna give it a Google. Uh, DJ Qualls. Do you know who that is?
He kind of looks like a Wish.com version of Tugboat McGuire.
Okay, good. So this is a picture of him from the New Guy. But anyways, this movie was a movie about a guy who basically was a nerd at his school. He got transferred to a new school. He wanted a new persona. He gets delivered to the new school in like the Hannibal Lecter mask. He's the bad boy. He's crazy. Well, he needs to learn how to be a bad boy. So he goes to jail. And in jail, some of the inmates teach him about a move called the Tiger Claw. And this all comes full circle. So what you do is you put both hands up while the enemy is distracted. You bring your knee up and you knee them right in the ball sack. Well, I held on to that and I remembered that. And one time my dad was talking smack to me, dude. And I was like, this is my chance. And I'm going to test out a move. He was on his computer actually. And he was just sitting there playing like online poker or some bullshit. And I literally just screamed, Tiger Claw! And I threw my hands up like this, and he looked at him like, "Oh, that's interesting. What are you doing, little fella?" You know, my hands are up, and I just kneed him in the balls. And to this day, he still remembers that shit. I fucking Tiger Clawed his ass. If I called my dad right now and said, "Hey, Dad, what does Tiger Claw mean?" He'd be like, "That time you fucking kneed me in the balls, dude."
Nice.
Haunted him for his whole life.
Or made him proud. He was like in bed that night being like, I made it.
That boy's got some spunk.
He's got some chutzpah in him. Oh,
But
man.
yeah, that's what you need to do to your dad.
Yeah. Well, I ruined a family meal. Does that count?
That could fuck some shit up.
Yeah. And not just one meal either. That one went into perpetuity. So you know how like your family kind of has some go-to recipes and you have them,
You recycle them every week.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty much. One of those recipes was meatloaf. That happened to be me and my dad's favorite at the time. And I was always like a creative chef. I kind of just fly by the seat of my pants. I take some chances. All right. And I usually end up with like good results that you may or may not have been expecting. I also occasionally end up in results that will make you never want to eat the food ever again. In fact, you might be off food for a while. My sister is the key operator here. She told me that if I didn't have breadcrumbs for meatloaf, I could replace it with Tostitos. And just like you hung on to the tiger claw, I hung on to that bit of information. And over time, it was like a pressure cooker. It went in as an idea of carbon, but over time, it began to solidify into true purpose, into the diamond that became the Tostito meatloaf incident.
What the
It's not nearly as exciting as I was amping it up to be. I literally put Tostitos into a food processor, blended that shit up until it looked like breadcrumbs, and used that instead of breadcrumbs in the meatloaf. Which the meatloaf came out with like a soggy, springy, spongy type consistency. The whole thing smelt like yeast. Like if you've ever boiled beer too long, like when you're making beer brats or something, that like terrible yeasty smell. Yeah. It smelled like that. And yeah, I had like 3 plates of it. For some reason, I thought it was great. My dad had one bite and left the table. And only
he's disappointed again.
He's just like, too dry.
It's too dry. He just starts rubbing his hands off the fridge. So would he remember that if you talked about it now?
Oh yeah, we talk about it frequently. Because like I think I was telling you or somebody else the other day that living so close to a Costco, we try out their meals all the time. We just tried out like the chicken pot pie earlier because it's like pre-made at Costco. It's super cheap. You throw it in the oven and it's done. They have a meatloaf version of that, and Mia and I have had it like 3 times in as many weeks since we moved here. It's been great. Fucking love meatloaf.
Oh, hell yeah.
My dad doesn't though. I'll call him and be like, "Hey, guess what I'm having for dinner?" And he goes, "Meatloaf."
He just started like me when someone burps. He's That's hilarious, dude. My dad knew from that moment that I was fucking destined to be a handful. One time he picked me up from my friend's house and we were driving home and he drove past this house that was covered in toilet paper and he just slow turns and looks at me and we just make eye contact and I'm just like, what are we doing today? You know, and meanwhile he's like, oh, so do you know anything about that? And I was like, no, I know nothing about that. I used to be a little shithead, dude, and I used to just go on these like vandalism sprees when I was a like middle schooler. And my one friend lived next to a neighborhood that had a neighborhood watch, and that increased the thrill of it. And my dad would find every time he'd pick me up a new house that had some shit done to it. This is so horrible. This little Trey needed his ass kicked, but I would go into this neighborhood, dude. And it started off with like innocent ding dong ditching. I would look for like shadowed spots in their lawn. I would ding dong ditch them. And instead of running away, I wanted to see their reaction. So I would lay in the shadowed spots of people's lawns. Imagine seeing like just glasses reflections coming off of your flashlight, like just me laying flat on the lawn, but I would ding dong ditch them. And then one time I was like, oh, I have this great idea. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take an adult diaper. So I had to go to Walmart. I got adult diapers. Someone's mom took us to Walmart, by the way. And then we filled them with pudding and like peanut butter. And we would take them and instead of egging people's houses, we would throw these adult diapers. It was so fucked up. It was so wrong, dude. It progressively got worse until one point there was a guy that my friend's family had beef with. And I covered his entire deck. Me and one other friend, because we would split up and go, you know what I mean? Like, we were a real operation.
Yeah,
2 of us would hit 2 houses at once.
Mm-hmm.
I took honey packets, not like the kind that give you a boner that exists now today, but like honey packets, as in like legitimate honey packets. And I took and I spread a thin layer of it all over this guy's deck. It's the worst thing I've ever done, dude. This one really deserved an ass beating. But I know his shoes were hella sticky the next day. And my dad saw somebody power washing their deck once after that situation. It was that guy. And he was like, do you know anything about this? But I used to go on these crazy sprees. I did one kid's house that I went to school with. We egged him. And you ever egg anyone? Before I say this? No. I'm just seeming like an asshole. You were like a really nice kid.
We'll get there.
Okay. And so I egged his house, right? And his dad opens up the door thinking that they're being robbed because there was like a group of us and they're being pelted with eggs. So he thinks they're robbed. So he comes to the door with a gun, dude. So we run away And my friend's stepdad is the one who took us there to do it. So he's just waiting in his car for us. This was some like country shit. And he's waiting in his car, and he has a big sports logo on the back. I won't say the team just so I don't out him, but he has a big sports logo on the back. And so that we don't get caught, he tells my friend, let's just call him Brandon for this. He's like, Brandon, cover up the logo, cover up the logo. So we have to drive away with him over the side of the truck covering the logo so that they don't identify the vehicle that we're in. And they tried to get revenge later, and they plotted to get my friend back at his house. So we camped out the entire night on his roof and waited for them to come back to get their revenge. And the kid brought his entire family, the dad, the mom, the children, and they were going to come back and get us. As they pull into the driveway, they don't know we've been camped out for 2 hours on the roof of the thing with eggs, dude. So we just start throwing eggs at their car. We nail all of them. I fucking throw one when they first get out of the vehicle. His mom's getting out of the car. She's just emerging like, oh, we're about to get them. And an egg just fucking it just shatters. And then the dad goes, they're throwing rocks. They're throwing rocks. And they jump back into their vehicle and lock the doors, and the kid that we went to school with is locked out of the car. And he goes, Dad, I lost my flip-flop. I lost my flip-flop. Then they hog it back into the car and they peel away. But there was like 2 of us on the roof. One of us was hiding like under a tree. Like it was just epic moment. Sorry, I got out of hand there. That was a good memory of mine.
That's awesome.
Dude, it was so sick. It's been talked about for years, man.
The fact that they thought that they were going to get you and then you got them.
Dude, we were so cold up there too, waiting. I remember like there was no hand warmers. My friend's parents were out of town. So like we planned, basically we had an inside man tell them that they were out of town so that they would come and try to get their get back on that day. Mm-hmm. But we were waiting, and that's why we knew to stake out. And I remember being so cold that I just had my hands inside of my pants because it was the warmest place. Like just like some random ass bullshit.
Man,
it was just crazy, man. Vandalism, boys.
I mean, that is a legendary story. Like, I don't even have something that legendary. The most that I did. So yeah, I was a goody two shoes. I didn't do jack shit. I also lived like not anywhere near neighbors. That and being an only child really kept me out of trouble. At least, you know, in the physical world. I was just upstairs playing Modern Warfare 2.
You were just on Modern Warfare 2, BipolarBear just going crazy on it.
Yeah.
Well, shit. Yeah. If you guys want to see more Scody's Modern Warfare 2 action, I guess the best place to go, aside from this podcast, would be he does a crazy 360 no-scope in the last video that we uploaded here on YouTube. It's titled something about Donut Daddy, but it is 1,000,000% just a montage of sick-ass 360 no-scopes. And if you don't go there, I mean, we're on all socials. We're on TikTok. We're on Twitter. You can find us anywhere doing 360 no-scopes, really. Check us out on Twitch. You're probably 360 no-scope there. LunchBoxPod. Where else do you 360 no-scope?
Her mom's house.
Fade to black, dude. Fade to black at your mom's house. That would be good.
Yeah, that's good.
Hell yeah.